You know what the funniest thing in the world is?
What's the funniest
Dan
thing?
Houston says, I've gone to protect myself. That's his defense.
That angle there.
But the greatest segment in all of YouTube history.
In all of AFL media.
In all of AFL media.
Because you have
in all
no
of
access.
YouTube history.
Because it means nothing.
Because I have no access and I can talk freely. And guess what? To the AFL, please hire me.
You are not taken by big AFL yet.
Correct.
Yet.
Correct. Okay. We've got 5 things to talk about this week.
5? Oh my God. All right.
First one is Dan Houston's bump, right? You know what the funniest thing in the world is?
I shouldn't laugh.
You know what the funniest thing in the world is?
What's the funniest
Dan
thing?
Houston says, I've gone to protect myself. That's his defense.
That angle there. Oh,
I know.
I've got to protect myself. Where?
Literally.
Look at this. That's a wind up as well. He's protected himself.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. Man, I would not want to get on his bad side. That is scary.
Clearly hasn't.
I mean, he is pretty protected.
You know,
to be
the
fair.
ball's bounced double his height, and he's just gone bang.
That angle is so bad.
So, the
I'm going
MRO,
to keep laughing if I keep looking at it.
the MRO have graded this as careless contact, which, again, this is clearly intentional.
Yeah, absolutely.
High impact, which, yes, it is high, but high contact. High contact, which it is, high impact. I think this is bordering of high and severe. I think there's a very clear argument you could make for this to be 3 weeks, but it has to be a minimum of 3 weeks. Where's the 2 weeks in this? Tom Stewart got 4 weeks. This is just as bad as that.
Yeah, I was going to say,
his
this
bump
is
on Prestia.
2 weeks. This was given 2 weeks.
Yeah, this was given as 2 weeks. Stewart's bump on Prestia was 4 weeks, if you remember that one from a few years ago.
Yes, I do remember that one. That one was really bad.
Right.
But again,
Both
it's
ran-
outcome. Look, he's
I know.
down. But Prestia was basically
Prestia was
dead man walking
Yeah.
at that point.
This is the problem, right? The AFL continue to go result over action. This will keep happening, and they'll continue to get 2 weeks where it should be punished harder, and then it won't happen again, and then don't have to give another 2 weeks.
If he managed to walk that off, right?
Yeah.
He did manage to get back up, didn't he? But if he was
He did.
barely affected, right? If he managed to kind of shrug it off, right, and keep
Yeah.
playing, obviously it would have been taken off for the test. But he would have gotten a week.
Oh, yeah, literally.
It is, if he hadn't got up, right, and that
It's
gives me a
5
really,
weeks.
really, if someone figures that out, say if someone like, especially for Carlton's sake, if Paddy Cripps came in and knocked someone and knocked someone high, right? If the player then lied down, took it for a bit, like, could they manipulate that?
Oh, I'm sure they could.
I feel like they really could, and I'm really worried that's going to mess things up.
It's so
really,
dumb.
really worried.
The one I want to make a comparison is the only reason this didn't get a Maynard sort of reaction on the bump on Brayshaw is the speed, right? The only reason he wasn't actually concussed is pretty slow. Problem is, he's gone like this, and it's not like he stayed like this, which is what Maynard did. He's gone like that. He's properly swung out with his elbow. To me, you can argue this is intentional. You could argue this is severe. That's pushing 7 weeks. You take a look at the Webster one. That was 7 weeks. That was intentional, high contact, and severe impact.
Outcome. It is outcome.
Completely outcome.
Outcome.
So I just don't understand how this is 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's such a dumb one. But again,
I hated this one.
Moving on to Ollie Dempsey's.
I saw this live and I'm like, Oscar. Not actually, no,
Ollie,
not an Oscar.
Not Oscar.
No,
Ollie.
I mean, deserves an Oscar.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
No, I mean, like, oh, God, it is so late. It is so late.
Such a bad one. It's such a bad one.
Oh,
He's already landed.
I'm so glad this happened the week after Ben Hobbs was won, though.
Yes.
Because now we can properly, now we can actually put the foot down.
Now I'm thinking, okay, you saw the Ben Hobbs one.
Yeah.
Why would you go and do this? It's almost as if we've got cameras everywhere. Like, I'm sorry. It's not even like he's gone and then he's gone.
Yeah,
he's
but
gone
it's thinking
and then it's like that.
It's not thinking, right, it's not thinking, oh, this is going to cost me some money. He's thinking, how am I going to get a free kick? How am I
50
going to get
metre.
You want to know what the problem is? Yeah, he's marked the ball. That's why I don't know why he's gone to ground.
He's
are you
completely landed.
Are you going for a high free kick?
It's so dumb.
You've
and he
got
gets
the mark.
And I've got it written here, FFS. It's called fixed financial sanction because it's only a fine.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, AFL. That's what I'm calling it. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that's fair.
Next one is Darcy Byrne-Jones, I believe. He's his bump on Ryan Burns. To me, this is very similar to the Houston on.
Well, it is an
Fogarty.
intentional bump.
It's an intentional. So you cannot argue that this is not intentional.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been graded as careless, medium impact, and high contact.
Again, he's gotten straight back up. So that's
Again, correct. So result over action.
Yeah.
This one's worse because the ball's there. He can go for the ball. And we saw an action multiple times in multiple games.
It just makes me think of the Jackson Archer one, though.
Yeah.
Because he's
How's
gone
that
to
3
ground.
weeks?
He's gone to ground. I don't understand how we're going to, like, judge all of these based off of... Like, if it more and more feels like there's no...
There's no clarity. There's no continuity.
It feels like the rubric doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Like, he has purposely not gone for the ball and gone to bump. That is exactly what intentional means.
Yeah.
It's not a careless act like what Maynard's was. He has purposefully gone to bump Burns. I don't understand how you can argue that is not intentional, which bumps it up to 3. Then you talk about the impact.
But my thing is, maybe it doesn't matter though, because you think, right, it didn't matter for Jackson Archer, so because he's gone to ground, right, to get the ball. Same
Burns.
as
Burns has stayed over the top. You look at it. Burns is staying.
Yeah, no, you can make that argument.
Burns is staying over. He's got his head over the ball. He almost tries to pull out of it before Burn Jones gets there, right?
It's not the situation as well because Jackson Archer's right. He got him because he clipped him as he'd been tripped up.
Yeah, exactly.
This one looks more like, head over the ball.
This is arguably the worst one all weekend. And it got 1 week. It just makes no sense. I think this...
Outcome. Outcome.
Yeah.
Outcome. I'll say it every time.
Yeah.
It is outcome based,
Yeah.
and I hate it. I hate it so much because, depending on how he reacts, right? Imagine he stayed out a bit longer. Mm-hmm. Imagine if he went onto the bench.
Imagine he had to go get an HIA test. Completely changes it.
That could... I legitimately could give him more weeks, and
Yeah.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that it's up to...
It's so confusing.
It's up to the victim.
It's so confusing, literally.
Next one.
Bailey Frisch. This was tunneling.
Tunneling, yeah.
So we talked about this last week with the Lawson Humphreys and Callum Archie one. I said that should be a suspension. I said that could be arguably 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
And then this one probably should be the same.
Yeah, this one
Doesn't
looks
have a
lot
play-
more... does it look more intentional? It's definitely intentional.
It's just as intentional, but it's less severe, right?
Yeah.
The problem is he's not watching the ball. He's not making a play on the ball. And he very clearly goes to nudge Stewart. So I don't understand how that's not A, intentional, B, medium impact, because he has knocked him out, and then C, understands his body contact. That should be at least 1 week. That makes it 1 week. So they've gone careless, low impact, body contact. That's all technically correct, based off of their own standings, but it's just dumb standings. That's the problem. This one is just, why is he even doing it in the first place?
Yeah.
Because you're allowed to. They get away with it. You get a fine for that. You can do it now. Watch,
Yeah,
we'll
it's
see.
an idea.
We'll
How do
see
you
it more.
Yeah,
Instead of
you
pushing
need to
players
stamp,
now.
Stamp it out. I always
Correct.
really think you should stamp this stuff out.
Yeah.
In the idea of the other ones, right, bumps and stuff happen.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's more intentional bumps than others, and I think that's where most of the punishment should be done, in the sense that if you mean to do something, right, if you are going in for a bump, and they go to ground, right, they go to ground and you accidentally get them high, right, you were looking to bump them, you weren't looking to take them out from the head. You should judge it based off that.
Yeah.
But if they were stretch it off the ground, that could be the difference between you getting 3 weeks, or if they shook it off and walked off, the difference between 1 week. And I hate that. I really hate that, because the action itself should be the punishment. Should be what the punishment's based off.
Like this could have been so much worse if he actually gets under him and he lands almost on his back instead of getting on his knees. That's a potential back injury, which does shitloads of damage.
Look at his arms too, right? I've seen so many injuries where they're going to brace themselves from a situation like this, right? When you're horizontal and you're not in control of your body, your arms instinctively go out.
You
right?
break 'em.
Yeah, exactly. So you've seen it. You'll see it in so many sports, right? The minute that they lose control in air, arms are out. They're looking for a brace.
Yeah. It's such a dumb decision. But the last one we're talking about is Oscar Baker. He had a bump on, I believe it was Andy Brayshaw.
This footage is incredible.
Yes. We've got a better option here.
Yeah, that's a bad choice.
He got 1 week. It's late. But again, he's at this point still making a play on the ball, right? He almost gets there. He's trying to knock the ball out.
Yeah.
He just gets him late. this is 1 weeker, maybe 2 if he gets more.
I think-
Brayshaw played out the game, so I think it's 1 week.
I think for the sake of, right, if we want to stay true to what we've mentioned before and how we want punishments to be off of action, I think, yeah, that is 1 week because he has made the choice to go for a bump and it hasn't paid off.
Correct.
And thankfully he played out the rest of the game. That may be a reason why he only got the 1. Imagine Brayshaw's done for the game.
Yeah.
Could be more.
Yeah.
I'm trying my best to kind of make this all like familiar to each other and not try and like go different standards for some things over others. But I think, 1 week I think is correct for this one. He's made a choice.
Yeah.
It hasn't paid off.
Yeah.
He is the one who's clearly made the poor decision.
Yeah.
1 week. If he had intentionally like had booked it for his head, right?
Yeah.
Then you think,
I mean,
how much more do we go? I don't think he's gone for his head. I think he's legitimately gone for a bump, and it's just poor execution.
You can see the ball bounces up, and that's why he tries to lean in, I think, at least.
Yeah.
You can make the argument that he's probably leaning into Brayshaw. I think he's leaning in to try and get the ball. Problem is he does brace for the contact, and he does get him high, which is where I could probably see a 2-weeker.
Yeah.
That's all.
Again, you just base it off of his action. I hate the fact that this could have... I'm very aware that could have been changed. That decision and suspension could have been changed if Brayshaw was done for the game, was out a couple of weeks due to concussion. They would have upped it, and I hate that. I hate that so much. Either give him the suspension that you would give him if he managed to keep playing out the game, even if he is done for the game. Right?
Yeah.
And maybe that can influence people to say, yeah, but if he's done for the game, surely a bigger punishment. No. Keep this. If he's doing the same action, you've got to stay true on both sides. You got to stay true.
Yeah. Well, that's a wrap. Behm's Tribunal tasks. Week 5 or 6 we're in now with Behm's Tribunal tasks. And we've had a shitload of content.
And we're still going.
Stronger
We're never
than
going to
ever.
fix it. As long as Behm's Tribunal tasks is around, there's always a problem to be discussed.